Okay.
It's quite like Shakespeare language,
Yeah, it's
right?
the old English. Thine, the. I imagine some 80-year-old British guy saying, "And unto thee we happen to say, thine kingdom be thine."
Right, assalamu alaikum. How are you, everybody? And I hope everyone is doing well. Today, again with Chris.
Yeah, there was a couple days ago. I was reading Surah Hud.
Surah Hud.
Surah Hud, yes.
All right.
And it was in Ayat 120, and it says, "Each story we relate to you from the news of the messengers is that by which we make firm your heart. And there has come to you in this the truth and an instruction and a reminder for the believers." It was interesting because when I read this, it kind of tweaked my mind to think, okay, how can I rely on Allah and this truth to guide me through as I continue to read. It happens to be right before one of my favorite stories of all time, which is Yusuf, or in the Bible is
The
known
story
as
of the
Joseph,
Prophet Yusuf, okay?
and how he was guided throughout the whole story, from beginning to end. Tragic, great, and how Yusuf continued to remain centered in Allah the whole time.
The story of Yusuf in Al-Quran, kind of similar to the story in the Bible?
For the most part, yes. A couple of differences, of course. I think one of the big differences is the story with the leader's wife, and how he was actually proven innocent and still put in jail, where I was grown up reading that he was found guilty and thrown in jail. But other than that, the story is
almost the same.
Very nice for me. It's the same. One of the big messages that I read while reading Yusuf was to always be reliant on what Allah has planned. It's amazing to see how Yusuf continued to have that faith and rely on that guidance throughout the whole story in times of extreme great, whenever he was put in charge of all of Egypt, whenever he was saved and put in charge of the mayor's house, if you will.
I see.
But also in the bad times when he's in jail, realizing that of course you don't want to be in jail, especially when you're innocent, but still going back and saying, okay, this isn't out of Allah's book.
Let's say we're in a bad situation, we could read the Surah Yusuf to be kind of relieved. All right, because we know what happens in life, and this is life actually. So the guidance that happens with Yusuf, it could happen with anybody. It needs just to go through these steps.
My one overarching question that I have is, I know how to rely on God, but how does that look in a day-to-day basis?
Chris, the guidance is the biggest grace that Allah has revealed on us, even bigger or greater than the health. This guidance actually comes in many forms actually. The first form is that Allah has created us with the senses, the tools of knowing, the tools of learning, and even being guided, like seeing, listening, touching. These tools or senses are a very great grace from Allah, and it's the first step of guidance, because imagine He has given you the tools to go and to see and to discover the truth yourself. Allah has revealed the books and the prophets, and that's the second greatest step for guidance. Why? Because your mind cannot lead you, and the one who created you is the best knowing you. So this is the second guidance. The third guidance is coming to the person who starts. The other life, which is the hereafter, is immortal. I mean, there is no death after this. Allah is merciful. So Allah created us for that life, not for this life. So Allah says in Surah Al-Fajr, all right, verse number 24, talking about the person, the human, in the other life. He will say, oh, I wish I had sent ahead some good for my life. So this means that all of our good deeds that we're doing here in this life is for the other life, which is my life, our main life. Now the third form or the third step of guidance is that you go first, because Allah has revealed the source. Allah has given you the source and the tools. Now since you have the tools, which is the senses, and you have the source, that's it. Now it's your first step to go and search and to go and to learn. Go to Allah and Allah will come to you better than the way that you go to Him. We're not like a puppets in this life. All right, we're not like a puppets. Actually, this first step could be in two ways. One thing is praying, like you pray Allah for guidance, for sure, because this will keep you with Allah. It's not like just praying and staying, waiting for, maybe the miracle to come. It's not gonna be like this. You have to go and search. The idea here is Allah will help you in the way. So it's not like Allah will put you in the way, throw you in the way, just go, just work, I will not do anything. No, Allah is aware of everything that we do. Allah is watching us all the time. Allah best know all the knowing, and He knows the best for us. This kind of help could be like by a person. Sometimes you will find a scholar or someone who has a very good concepts that could deliver the idea in a very easy way to you. That's a guidance from Allah. That's a help actually during your way. And does that make sense for you, Chris?
It does make sense.
All right.
Thank you.
Very nice. And I'm thankful. Actually, all what I have talking to you is I consider guidance from Allah.